Hello and welcome back to the Choose UCalgary podcast. I'm your host, Virginia Harvey, and today on the podcast, we'll be talking about the University of Calgary Students' Union. Joining me, I have Assad, the Students' Union Vice President of Student Life. Thanks for being here today, Assad.
Hey, Virginia, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Very excited to have you on. Could you please tell me a little bit about yourself and your role at the SU?
Yeah, of course. My name is Assad Ali Bik. I'm Vice President of Student Life, like you mentioned, at the University of Calgary Students' Union. And I'm actually a philosophy major. I started in chemistry. I took a few arts courses in the Department of Philosophy, and I loved it so much, I hopped on over. About the role itself, I'm Vice President of Student Life, which really entails everything on the non-academic side of things, everything that pertains to equity, diversity, and inclusion, to non-academic misconduct, student clubs, and just so much more.
Awesome. A little bit more broadly, could you tell me sort of what exactly the Students' Union does for students on campus?
Yeah, of course. The Students' Union is actually there to represent students and advocate for students. We are there as an institution that is run by students and it's for the students.
Could you highlight some of the biggest programs or services that the SU runs?
Of course. So, alongside representing students and advocating for students, we also give a lot of opportunities through programs and services that we provide. We have our club system that has over 300 registered clubs. We have a travel and conference fund that offsets the cost of traveling to different academic conferences and such that students elect to go on. We have our campus food bank that is there to help students with food insecurity. We have a whole lot of other volunteer services that we can give opportunities for students for. Among all the other programs and services, we actually offer a health and dental plan that students can opt out of should they already have a dental plan, maybe through their parents or through their work. But basically, this covers you on your appointments with physicians. This covers you for prescription up to a percentage, hospital visits, all of that stuff that might not be covered through Alberta Health Services. This will take care of you. We also have the information center and the lost and found at McEwen Hall. So if you have any general questions or maybe you need to go somewhere that you don't know how to get to, they're actually a really good resource. Or maybe you lost something and you need to find it, or maybe you found something that somebody else lost. You never know. We also have the Q Center, which is a great inclusive space for our queer community on our campus. And through there, we offer free breakfast that students can come and enjoy.
The Students' Union has definitely done a great job of making a really awesome space with McEwen Student Center. There's definitely everything that students need there, from the pharmacy to the wellness center, the offices for the health and dental plan. There's an optometrist. So pretty much anything you might need on campus, especially if you're living in residence or an international student, it's pretty much all in the McEwen Student Center.
That's right, and we're always trying to improve it. And so, if students have a need or a want, we're always looking to improve things. And so they can contact me. They can contact the SU as a whole. We're always willing to listen to suggestions and just create a space that really reflects what our student body wants and needs.
For sure. The Clubs Week is definitely something I think that's really cool that the Students' Union puts on to display for new students all the different clubs on campus.
Exactly. With so many different clubs, it's really hard to look at clubs online through our Club Hub system. Obviously, we have a club list on Club Hub, which is the internet platform that we use for our club system, and all of them are listed there. However, it's so much nicer to just have a visual of who's in these clubs, who's running these clubs, what these clubs are all about, and that's what we do through Clubs Week.
Yeah, so that usually occurs in the first week or two of each new semester and is held in our McEwen Student Center. Clubs have the opportunity to sign up for a booth, and so the entire north courtyard of the McEwen Student Center is filled with tons of booths with all the different clubs on campus. It kind of rotates throughout the week, so you really have the opportunity to explore everything that's out there and get involved.
That's exactly right.
So I'm wondering, how did you actually end up in this role with the Students Union? What got you interested in it?
I actually was interested in the Students Union on day zero. Just orientation week day. I guess that could be day one if you count it. But I remember going through the different orientation modules, and one of them was Meet the SU. And so we had our elected representatives come up and say, you know what, I'm the president, I'm the vice president academic. And I was like, no, those aren't my roles. That's not where I fit. And then I had Patrick Ma, who was my vice president of student life my first year. And he said, I'm vice president of student life. And here's my portfolio. And here's what I do. And I said, you know what, that's a pretty cool fit for me. And so since then, I've been waiting. And here we go. I got to realize that dream of mine.
Awesome. You've said that one of your passions is improving inclusivity within the university community. How have you been working to do that as the VP of Student Life?
Inclusivity is a huge part of why I wanted to be vice president of student life. And the effects of COVID have made this harder because I wanted to initially do this through events, through fostering a campus community by being there physically for each other, right? And so I really had to alter courses to create an online community. And so what I've done through my position here is create an equity, diversity, and inclusion task force where I've brought students from all walks of life. They're very unique lived experiences, and they come here and we speak on how we can improve the programs and services that we already provide, or if there is anything else that we at the SU could do better to create more inclusivity amongst equity and diversity on our campus and just as a SU as an organization.
That's really cool that you're working on that task force and really allowing students to have a voice in their campus. Did you know you can still access UCalgary's virtual open house? Check out the exhibition hall, watch recordings of our discovery sessions, and virtually explore different programs at UCalgary through the open house link in the episode notes. Is there anything that you would highlight as your favorite part of your role as this VP Student Life so far?
So my favorite part is also my least favorite part, ironically, and I'll explain why. And that's just talking to students. It's my favorite part because I love students so much, and I wish I could talk to so many of them. And it's my least favorite part because COVID has made it so much more difficult to speak to students. I always wanted to be the executive at the SU that is amongst the people, right? I wanted to work in our in our McEwen Hall, which is where all of our students, that's the hub of our students, right? This is where they eat, this is where they hang out. And that's where I wanted to take my work. I didn't want to just work in my office. I wanted to talk to as many students as possible. And so COVID really put a wrench in that plan. But despite it, that I'm still engaging with students. I still talk to them on social medias. I still talk to students via email. And so that is definitely my favorite part.
That's great. It's definitely been a year of learning to adapt for everyone, I would say. So it's good that you're still making it work even without being on campus. How can students who are new get involved with the SU?
There are many ways to get involved with the SU. And there's this misconception that you have to be some extrovert or some really outwardly passionate person to run for a role, whether that be a representative role in the faculty or whether that be an executive role. But that's actually not the case. There are many introverted people who are very successful in running campaigns and such. But if campaigning is not for you, that's totally understandable. There's many ways that you can join committees. We have committees that range from charity sorts of initiatives to, like I mentioned, equity, diversity, inclusion task force, as well as, like quality money, which is a whole nother program that we run. There are volunteer services that we run that students can elect to spend their time on. There's obviously the 300 clubs that you can join. And so what I have found actually is the community of involved students know each other so well. And so there's this misconception that you have to know a million people to get into the SU, and that's not really the case, right? As long as you get into a club, or you get into a committee, or you just want to go straight for the SU and a representative role and an executive role, the possibilities are endless. But I would suggest that you just do it, honestly, more than anything. Just do whatever you're comfortable with. And then from there, you just keep moving forward. You don't need to see the end. You just need to see the first step. That's it.
For sure. One of the ways I've seen some of my friends get involved, and I think a good starting point is a faculty rep.
That's exactly right. We have 19 faculty representatives, and these are representatives of the Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Science, Faculty of Kinesiology, and et cetera, et cetera. And they have excellent work ethics, every single one of them. And that's just because of the passion that they bring, right? And so the students who run for these positions are truly passionate about what they're doing, about representing students, about advocating for students, and providing opportunities for students. And so if somebody is listening to the podcast and they're thinking, that's me, well, I think the Students Union is the exact fit for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of my favorite events that I participated in that are run by the Students Union are the pet therapy and stress less events that go on kind of near exam times. Maybe you could tell our prospective students a little bit more about those.
Of course. So the Vice President of Student Life portfolio consists of mental health as well as physical health and wellness. And one of the areas we like to focus on is how can we help during stressful periods of time? And we understand that during finals and during midterm season, a lot of students are under a lot of stress. And so we try to offset that by having things like pet therapy, like you mentioned, where we bring puppies and dogs into the empty space where students can come and relax and, just take their mind off of things for a little bit. We give de-stress kits, and these kits are little fanny packs with cool little gadgets inside. We have instant coffee, for example, in there. We have a stress ball. We've actually added a hand sanitizer in there, which is a rare commodity nowadays. But, just little things that really go a long way in de-stressing.
Yeah, the Students Union definitely, I think, does a great job of supporting students during those stressful times like exam weeks or exam periods. I guess it's longer than a week.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate that.
I'd love to know if you can pick just one thing. What's your very favorite thing about the University of Calgary community?
Well, one of my favorite things about the community at U of C is the sense of resiliency that everyone has. The sense of community is always there. The sense of continuously pushing forward is always there. Especially this year, this transition to online, it was so abrupt in March, and yet students persisted. In such a stressful time of year where finals are just around the corner, students persisted and they were resilient. They bounced back. They started the fall online, and there's just so many different aspects that are influencing their student life and their ability to succeed. And despite that, they continue to be excellent leaders, not only in their academic realm, but within the campus community.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting year. Everyone has done a great job of adapting to the new situation. So students who are looking to maybe give ideas or just want to get in contact with the Students Union, how can they reach you?
We are always open to any form of communication from all students. And so we are very accessible via email. You guys can check out our website at su.ucalgary.ca. It has all the contact information for all of us. It gives you a brief description of who we are, so you don't have to email some random person. You have no idea. Or if you meet us in person, you can talk to us in person, obviously. You guys can go the informal route. Find us on social medias as well. Because at the end of the day, we are in these positions because of students. We are students, and we really want to talk to students. And so it might seem very intimidating and it might seem very scary to do so, but we are so happy to speak to students. And so please do reach out. We are always happy to chat, regardless of what the issue is. We can try to solve it. And if we can't, the worst we can do is try to guide you in the right direction. So please do reach out. I hope to hear from every single one of you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for providing some insight into the Students' Union for me today.
No worries, no worries. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate being here.
That concludes today's episode. If you're looking for more information, I will include the links to the Students' Union website in the episode notes. Thank you for listening and have a great day.